Welcome back, everybody. Do you recognize the Faze clan? Yeah, I'm sure you do. But do you know that they had their own collab with Ghost Energy? There were two drinks in that collab. Not just the fabled Faze Pop, but there was also one a lot more rare called Faze Up. Now, normally, if I knew that there was a collab with only two drinks, I would just put them both in the same video. But for sake of being able to get this thing the fuck out of my fridge, I'm not going to do that because I cannot for the life of me find Faze Up anywhere. This collab ended a long time ago because supposedly Faze went bankrupt, but I don't know how true that is. All I know is that Ghost is no longer collabing with them, and they haven't in quite some time. So, that being said, here is the original Faze Pop. Now, if you'll remember all the way back to, I think it was episode 4, that was my 4th of July episode, you may recall that I had a Ghost Merica Pop in there. Merica Pop is supposedly the same flavor as this Faze Pop, but just reskinned because, you know, the collab is over. There were both printed and textured variants of that, whereas Faze Pop is so old, it never got a printed can. So, not only is it cooler because it's textured, but it just looks a lot better because, you know, it's got some funky stuff going on. And I like that in a can. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, isn't this kind of a cheat video to talk about a drink that you've basically already tried before? Yes and no, because while, yes, I did have the Merica Pop, I don't really remember the taste of it. And also, even if I did, I can't necessarily confirm, because I've never had them both in close proximity, whether the Faze Pop and the Merica Pop taste the same or if they taste different. So while this isn't going to be a great comparison because it was many months ago that I had that one, we're going to try this one here and see if I can remember what Merica Pop tasted like and compare them from there. Anyway, with all that weird shit being said, let's get to the taste. Oh dear God. Well, it's all over my hand, and my hand smells like wine now. So if that says anything about the flavor I'm about to look forward to, there you go. If I can recall, I bought this drink a couple weeks ago. I found it at a GNC, and they were selling it for like 50 cents because they just wanted to get rid of it. So even if I decide I don't want this and I pour it out, yeah, I'm not taking a loss. But regardless, I can't know how I feel about it until I take a sip and or a smell. So let's get a smell. Well, it smells just like my hand. Wax and alcohol. I'm really looking forward to this one. Let's get a sip. Bottoms up. It tastes like a popsicle. I mean, it's not bad or anything, but, like, this is basic as shit for a flavor. Sorry if I sound depressed right now. I'm drinking a Faze Pop, so I think you could probably understand if you've ever had this one. Ugh. Now, after taking another off-camera sip like a heathen, I can decide that this does very much taste like a very bootleg-ish popsicle. So with that being said, it's getting a 7 out of 10 on the Brandometer. Not because I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10, but because I dislike it enough to realize that while it's not bad, I'm never going to buy this again. So, good job, Ghost, I guess. That being said, I will attempt my very hardest to find that Faze Up for you guys. So, maybe you'll get to see that at some point. Or maybe not. I guess we'll never know.